Well, Rob, return to Aviva Premiership action here at Sandy Park, and what a game against Gloucester.
Yeah, fantastic. And you know, one of the games probably last season that will go down in the history of the club with our first Premiership game, and obviously, you know, a great win for us then. And now the pressure's on us a little bit to come out here and perform. You know, we're very proud of our home record. You know, we've had a couple of results we're probably not as pleased with as we could have been. And you know, and now we want to perform well in front of our home crowd, and as you say, kind of bring Premiership rugby back here now post World Cup, and in front of what looks like it's going to be close to a sellout crowd. So you know, it's a big game for us. I'm not going to say it's a big West Country local derby, because I don't think we can say that yet. You know, I don't think we've been in the Premiership long enough, but it is a big game nonetheless, and it is a derby for us. So you know, we're going to look to perform very well, and as I say, we keep saying every week we're going to aim to be a little bit better than we were last season. We've managed to do that most times, other than Northampton away. And so now that, you know, the pressure's on a little bit for us to get out there and perform very well, and in what will be a very tough game against a very good side.
A bit like ourselves, Gloucester have got a similar record in that they're going to arrive here pumped up just as much as us. It's going to be a real battle out there. Yeah, it's tight in the table between the two of us. They'll be very disappointed that's the case. You know, primarily because of last week. You know, they build their solid season on their home record. They've got a fantastic unbeaten run there for a long time. They lost last week. They'll be hurt by that, mainly because it happened very late in the game, in a game that they were pretty well in control of for large periods. So they'll want to take that form into this week. They'll also want to show us that last season, you know, was a blip for them. But you know, we're a good side, and if we go out there and make it about ourselves, we can definitely be out there and be in the game, and you know, then you've just got to take it on the chin whatever comes. You know, if you perform well, you know, and the boys are proud of themselves, you know, I'm happy. That's how things work, and you know, we performed very well last week, and if, you know, we've got some good form as well, and we take that through into the Gloucester game, we give ourselves a great chance. As you said, you're talking about last week, it was another really good performance, just small margins in the end really that paid dividends. Yeah, I mean, we were in the lead late in the game, and you know, we've got a bonus point. You know, we're within one score of the league leaders, so you know, we obviously played well. You know, everyone's aware of some of the frustrations I had, but you know, those are done now, and you just have to concentrate on yourselves and the things you can improve. We've spent a lot of time this week talking about ourselves and what we want to do and how we want to get better, and that's all you got to do, little bits at a time. If we're a little bit better this week than we were last week, we're in with a fantastic opportunity of getting something out of the game, and you know, that's all you can do. You know, target the games, talk about yourself, what you want to achieve, and then see if you can force that into the game on a Saturday. Monday night we saw the A-League return, and some notable performances there, and you've got the squad really firing on all cylinders at the moment. Yeah, we're pretty much going to select from full strength. Obviously Pete Short's, you know, got the relatively long-term injury, leg injury, but other than that we're only really concerned about John Andres, Chris Whitehead. Other than that, you know, we're pretty much full on. A lot of the boys got some game time last week. On Monday night. You know, Camacho's up to speed now in training. You know, Craig Mitchell's had some game time, albeit, you know, he only had one training session with us before the game. You know, Budge is back up and running now. Junior Polo had a good influence on the game. Pat Phibbs had some good game time as well, and has re-signed for us now. So you know, we've got a fully fit, you know, virtually fully fit, strong squad to select from. That's also helped us this week in training, and it's made things pretty interesting. And you know, I'm really looking forward to the next few weeks. I think we've got a very competitive group of players, and you know, I like the fact the World Cup's over. You know, I want to challenge ourselves against teams that haven't got any excuses, and I want my players to be playing against the best players. You know, some of the best players in the world, which is what they'll be doing. As you said, Phibbsy's made a real big impact since he's arrived, and now you've got him on terms till the end of the season. How much of an influence has he been? He's been. You know, good guy around the club. You know, I think what's impressed me more than anything is he came in here in quite difficult circumstances. You know, very short-term contract. You know, very short time to prove yourself. No guarantee of any game time at all. No guarantee of a second contract either from us or anybody else. But he came in, and from day one he's got stuck in. You know, we weren't selecting him, you know, when those early Premiership games were there, because we had, you know, Kev and Hayden who were bang on form and playing very well, and that made it quite difficult for him. You know, no opportunities to really prove himself. But then obviously, you know, an A game comes along and a LV Cup game comes along, and he plays well and he leads the team well, and you know, you start to see good things out there. And you know, I think that's been a major influence on us. You know, his character, and then obviously on the top of that, he's put in some notably good performances. And you know, scrum half's a tough position, and you know, although the scrum halves probably won't like it, the fact we've got four, you know, very good senior scrum halves is great for the club. Because you do tend to break them. You know, Hayden's been knocked around a bit the last 2 or 3 weeks.
you know, thickens us out a little bit there in a crucial position for us. And you know, I'm expecting a real dogfight between those four to see who's going to start and who's going to be on the bench and who's going to get the regular starting spot.
Monday night you also saw the first glimpses of Gonzalo Camacho and Craig Mitchell, as you said. How impressed were you by those?
Gonzo looked sharp, you know, he made some, you know, pretty good breaks, defended very well, which is kind of what we knew from him. So yeah, no, he looks up to speed very quickly. Probably a little bit easier if you're a winger to kind of get up to speed with the team and what they're doing, because you're, you know, just relatively easier to drop into the scheme of things. Craig, you know, like I say, did one training session with us straight into starting spot in an A game and was fine. Looked like he'd been here for months. So you know, he's now had a full training week this week. You know, and that puts him right up in contention, and he looks pretty comfortable with what we're asking him to do. You know, he's not going to scrum exactly how we want him to do. He's not going to drop into patterns exactly how we want him to do for probably for a couple of months yet. You know, that's the reality of it. But you know, he's already looking good. He's looking comfortable. The guys seem to like him, which is massively important. And he's just got his head down and worked very hard. I think he's fitted in fantastically well.
Whoever plays this weekend, it's going to be a massive occasion for them. And as you said, we're getting close to a big crowd and a sellout crowd here at Sandy Park. How exciting must the players be getting?
You can kind of tell. You know, you can try to tell before a home game that they just start to get a little bit edgy, and they start to talk about the emotion they want to bring to the game and how important it is for them to perform in front of the home crowd. You know, they're a realistic, good set of guys. You know, they understand it isn't the easiest thing in the world for supporters to get up at, you know, 6 o'clock in the morning, and or even earlier, 4 o'clock in the morning, and drive to Newcastle or Sale or wherever they go. And yet they're there in the numbers every single week, and every Premiership ground we go to, you know, you can hear them in the crowd. You know, at Leicester, you know, there's 17,000 people there, and a large part of the game all we can hear is the Tomahawk chant. You know, our guys are aware, you know, that they work very hard to support them, and they're aware of what a fantastic group of people they are, and you know, it means a lot to them to play well in front of them, and that kind of makes me relatively confident. I know we'll play well this weekend. You know, will we play well enough to get something out of the game? We'll have to wait and see. If we bring our best game, you know, and we do the things we know we're good at, you know, we give ourselves every opportunity.
And finally, as always, you would have done your homework on Gloucester. Where is the threat coming from them?
Well, you know, they're cranking things up front. You know, they're starting to kind of reaffirm the things that Gloucester have always been known about. So you know, they're real combative up front. And then, you know, on the back of that, you know, they've got some real game breakers in the back line. You know, you can kind of go along that back line and one after the other. You just talk about people who can break a game open. So, you know, we dealt with that very well with Quins. They were very similar, you know, in their back division. We dealt with that very well. And I think the key for us is just to build on that. You know, defensively we were very sound. You know, we're disappointed with the try we conceded, you know, late in the game. But you know, these things happen. For us, it's, like I say, it's about concentrating on ourselves and what we can bring to the game. As I say, make it about ourselves. We'll give ourselves a great opportunity.
Brilliant. Thanks, Rob.